Aloha. So the other week I did a little spot on vinegars, and we talked about the various vinegars, how they're made, and the different acetic acid content. And one of the items was rice vinegar. And I mentioned that I make my Chinese chicken salad dressing out of that. And Betsy said share, so I am. So it's actually a really simple recipe. It is all tablespoon or half a teaspoon, or those are the two measuring sources I use. Also, the other equipment I use is a little shaker bottle, typically used for your protein drinks. But the key thing is this agitator, because once you get all the ingredients together, that'll help keep everything emulsified and or shaken up so that you're not, dressing your salad with a layer of oil or a layer of vinegar. It keeps all the ingredients mixed up. So it's for the tablespoons, it's measurements 2, 3, 4, 5, and for the half a teaspoon, it's half, half, and 1. So I just use that. So here we go. So it's 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. That gives it that nutty flavor. And I do barely a tablespoon, so you can see that. Then it's 3 tablespoons of sugar and 4 tablespoons of regular mild canola oil. So I'm going to go ahead and do the canola first. And I pretty much do that one also a shallow tablespoon, just so that I'm not heavy on oil. 2, 3, 4. And now that I've done that mild oil, which was the 4 tablespoons, 5 tablespoons of the rice vinegar. So this is grain vinegar made out of rice. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 tablespoons of your sugar. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe the tablespoon down so that I don't get the vinegar flavor in my sugar bowl. So 3 of that. So again, it's 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 4 tablespoons of a mild oil like vegetable oil, canola oil, and 5 tablespoons of your rice wine vinegar. That's your tablespoon, done. Then it's a half a teaspoon of pepper. I'm using white pepper, and this is a half a teaspoon measurement. I'm actually doing, again, a shallow measurement, and a half a teaspoon of salt, and a whole teaspoon of sesame seeds. So here's my sesame seeds. So 2 measurements of that. Get it all together. Put your agitator in your bowl. Make sure that your lid is snapped shut so that you don't shake it all over the place. Then give it a good shake. And there's your Chinese salad recipe. Now, that said, I've seen a whole lot of different dressings. I've seen some with mayonnaise, some with soy sauce, some with brown sugar versus white sugar, some with the added mirin, which is rice wine. So it's really depending on what your preferred flavors are. In fact, even the contents, the measurements, right? So if you like more tart, you can add more rice wine vinegar. If you like it less tart, add less. I mean, it's really up to what your preference is. And if you like it creamy, do the mayonnaise version. I don't do the mayonnaise version. If you like it a little saltier, a little deeper, use the brown sugar and soy sauce, or add mirin for that little bit of sweetness. But this is it in the most simple fashion. So I'll put the recipe down below, but just take this, drizzle it over your greens, which we'll talk about next. So stay tuned for the whole salad. The bottom layer of the salad is usually won bok or Napa bok choy. You call it whatever you will, wherever you get it. I cut it into shreds, wash it. The reason I like to have the cabbage on the bottom is it absorbs all of the dressing that ends up sitting at the bottom. You could totally toss it. You can use regular cabbage if that's what you have, but you want some kind of hearty green down there that isn't going to wilt when it's sitting in dressing. So that's my first layer, won bok / Napa / bok choy. Second layer I like to use is romaine, or your preferred lettuce. You can use iceberg, green, whatever, butter. I like romaine overall. Like when I think of my favorite salads, they have romaine in them. Typically, it's a heartier, more nutritious green than just your iceberg. So the bottom, I got my Napa / wonbok / bok choy. On top of that, I got my romaine. Coming up next, whatever vegetables you want to top. I'm gonna do some carrots, some celery, some green onion, and then some. I cut up my celery into thin slices. Hopefully you can see that. And I chopped or matchsticked my carrot. My mom would not be satisfied with that size matchstick. She likes them nice and thin. And she's usually the one who does the Chinese chicken salad in our family. For Christmas, if you've ever been to one of our clam bakes, you know what I'm talking about. She preps all of the veggies for the salad, and the part that I always have her do is the carrot prep, the carrot and celery, honestly, because she can do such a fabulous job with them. So there's all my, I used about 3 or 4 stalks of celery. I cut off the tops and I trimmed off the bottom. I used 1 medium-sized carrot, and I have about 3 good size green onions here that I'm gonna put in here before I put the meats, because I like to fluff this a little bit. I usually have my salad tongs, but since I have one hand occupied on the camera, I'm gonna hand toss this delicately, just to mix it all about, get all the onions underneath. So that is the only onion going in here. I don't like to put white onions or Maui onions in here, so I like to mix that in with some, get all those other veggies distributed. I've seen people also put in sliced green beans, if you can slice them nice and thin. Basically any vegetable you want to put in your salad, toss it in there. Bean sprouts, that would be great in here also. So next I'm going to prep the meat, and I'm going to save some of my green onions for ultimate toppings. So we'll come back when I got the meats done. So here are the meats that I talked about. It is Chinese chicken salad, so of course I have shredded chicken there. So I actually had leftover rotisserie chicken, so I just shredded that up, and that's what you see. You could just bake or steam a chicken breast or a thigh even and shred it up. I also have in here Chinese barbecue pork, because I had some from making some fried noodles the other night. So we have Chinese barbecue pork and roasted shredded chicken going in. And just like I did for the carrots and celery, I'm just gonna sprinkle them about. Those are the meats. And I'm sorry, I keep throwing the camera angle off as I try to watch what I'm doing. The reason I'm doing it in a big flat bowl, there, just toss it all in, is because rather than a tall bowl like my salad spinner bowl, is because this dressing likes to, because it's a thin vinaigrette, likes to run down and sit. So I like for it to sit amongst everything, which is another reason again why I put the cabbage on the bottom, because it's hardiest and can withstand that. So there's the meats. I also usually like to put cocktail peanuts in there to get the peanut flavor, but I use them all for our homemade trail mix. But I do have some processed or mixed up ones that I blitzed. So I'm just gonna sprinkle that on here to get that nutty flavor from the peanuts. And the number one reason I eat Chinese chicken salad is the wonton chips. So these are made here in Hilo, Hawaii, as you can see. And this is like the jumbo size bag that they sell at our Costco, because we're legit crazy about our wonton chips in Hawaii. Yes, you could make your own. You could just buy the wonton pea wrappers and fry them up, or slice them and fry them up and season them as you will. But these are the ones from the shop here, the Mabel's wonton chips. And they're super yummy. and delicious. So I like to put these on here also. Obviously, I'm not going to just put 6 on there. I'm going to chow half that bag down myself and then sprinkle the other wontons on top when John is ready for dinner. And then we'll sprinkle our dressing on and add some more green onions and we'll be good to go. Bon appetit. Does your Chinese chicken salad dressing on Chinese chicken salad? I know, it should be Asian chicken salad. But there you have it. So again, wrap up the recipe for the dressing in the comments below. So check that out. And mahalo Betsy for suggesting the recipe. I love ya.